wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. See?
It looks something like this.
And we are live from the Barber Motorsports Wow, I did not say that right. We are live from the Barber Motorsports Park here in Birmingham, Alabama for the 2020 NASCAR Alabama Grand Prix. Joining me today in the broadcast booth is Charles Bowen.
Hello, it's great to be back here, and we're looking at a very good race here at Barber Motorsports Park, a very natural terrain-oriented circuit built back in the early 2000s by some rich dude named Barber. I forgot his name. But yeah, it's a very fun circuit to race. We saw the Indy cars race here yesterday on iRacing.
Kinda.
It was a good race. Yeah, but it was a good race. And we're looking at another good race here, this time with the Cup Series.
Yeah, like you had just said, Barber is a very, very, natural racetrack. The elevation change is something that we need to watch out for. Coming through the final corner, the track goes way down into a sharp left-hander, which leads them onto the main straight. There's a big downhill dip through, I think it's off turn 4, leading towards one of the toughest parts of the racetrack. It's going to be a good race. We should see some
Absolutely.
All right, so starting on pole for today is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 47 car. Do you think that he's going to have a good chance at winning this race?
I don't know. His road course history is kind of mixed. He's had some good results, some bad results, and then, of course, we all know the meme, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He causes incidents, so it'll be hard to tell.
There are a lot of possibilities to have an incident here at the Barber Motorsports Park. One thing that I think we should watch out for is the pack going into turn 1. They're going to be very bunched up. It's a very sharp left-hander. In practice races, what I noticed is that these AI need to get a certain slip angle to make it through that corner. So there are cars practically drifting through that corner, and that can get very dangerous if you're running side by side, or if you just step out the back end a little too much, you're going to end up in the gravel trap, and that's something that could bring out a caution. Unlike the St. Pete Grand Prix, we do have cautions enabled for this race, so hopefully we'll get some actual cautions and it won't just be a wreck fest.
Absolutely. And on the mark of kind of drifting at Tokyo Drift style into turn 1, if you get caught up in that, if you're on the outside, a car drifting wide into turn 1 could end your race, and you're just a victim there. So that's another reason to be careful.
A lot of people are saying bruh in the chat. Is there something wrong with the stream? If so, let us know and I'll try and get that sorted. Another thing to point out, this race is brought to you by Will Nunn and NASCAR Kumon Cup Series. A while ago I did a challenge that if anyone could correctly predict the winner of the Trackmasters Cup Series Coca-Cola 600, they would be the sponsor of this race. Will Nunn and NASCAR Kumon Cup Series both predicted Kevin Harvick. They were correct, and they are the sponsors of this race. Connor is not here with us today. He had some other stuff come up before the broadcast, but Charles is, so he will be joining me. You can subscribe to him at CharlesBTV on YouTube, or you can follow the link in the chat.
Absolutely, guys.
All right, so, Charles, who do you think is going to have a good chance at winning this race? There's a lot of good drivers here that have a lot of road course ability. Once again, Alexander Rossi joins us for this race. Who do you think is going to have the best chance at winning?
Well, I do see one name on the front row that has been really good at the road courses the last 2 years. He won at Watkins Glen 2 years in a row, first career win, and then back in 2019. And the Roval coming back from an incident early in the race. I'm going to say Chase Elliott wins at Barber.
I wouldn't sleep on William Byron. We know the Hendrick cars have a lot of pace today. It's a Hendrick front row lockout if you're talking about engine power. And William Byron has been proven to be pretty good at the road courses. He was pretty good at Watkins Glen in 2019 before he got taken out by Kyle Busch and led a lot of laps at Sonoma earlier that year. This track is very similar to Sonoma in terms of the actual characteristics. I think William Byron is going to have a good chance. Let me just quickly see how long we have until the command to fire engines. We have just under a minute. So we'll go over the starting lineup under the full pace lap that we have today. But before we do that, do you have any final thoughts?
Other than picks and stuff, we're looking at a very exciting race here, guys. It's going to be good.
We are going to have 33 laps of action, which is just a little bit higher than I originally intended. 28 was just cutting it a little bit short, so 33 laps should be about an hour or so of racing. That is, of course, if we don't get any cautions. All right, at any moment now, the command to fire engines will be given, so we're just going to hand it trackside and remain silent. Oh, an update. Connor's in the chat saying you just got back from the thing you need to do. Connor, you are in the Discord, so if you want to come on and join the broadcast, we would be happy to have you on as our pit road reporter.
Yeah, come on in, dude. We're ready.
And there is the command to fire engines. It's going to be something like 35 motors roaring to life here. I don't have an exact count. Let's take a look at your starting lineup heading into today's race. So on pole, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. got the pole in qualifying. To his outside is Chase Elliott. And in row 2, Michael McDowell will start to the inside of Ryan Newman. Row 3, Cole Custer will start to the inside of Austin Dillon. And coming up in row 4, Quinn Houff will start to the inside of Clint Boyer. Row 5, William Byron will start to the inside of Ryan Prix, and in row 6, Justin Haley will start to the inside of St. Pete winner Eric Almirola. Row 7, Austin Cindric back in the 60 car will start to the inside of Eric Jones, and in row 8, Chris Buescher will start to the inside of Sam Hornish Jr. Row 9, Joey Logano starts to the inside of Corey LaJoie, and in row 10, Alexander Rossi starts to the inside of Kyle Busch. Row 11, Alex Bowman to the inside of Martin Truex Jr., and in row 12, Bubba Wallace to the inside of Tyler Reddick. Row 13, I think that's Kevin Harvick to the inside of... Nope, Christopher Bell to the inside of Kevin Harvick, bit of a stack up there. Behind them, Matt Benedetto to the inside of Kyle Larson. They're wrecking on the pace laps. Awesome. Awesome job, guys.
No.
All right, well, the starting lineup got pretty mixed up, but your pole sitter is still the same, so let's go back up front.
I think the underdog pick here is, especially if you're Michael Kosey Jr., win by 820, Starcom Racing, starting in a very good position here.
Quinn Houff, the new driver to that team, kind of unproven. He was only able to get 4 cup starts before the whole, thing happened, which we're not allowed to talk about, or else YouTube's going to kick me off the platform. Actually, they might not. I said it last night in a live stream, and they didn't seem to care. But I'm going to play it safe, not sorry. Again, unfortunately, we're not able to have real racing in NASCAR, but we've decided to try and substitute it with the NASCAR Grand Prix Exhibition Challenge, race 1 here at Barber. We'll see kind of where this series goes. If it's a success today, then we'll see when race 2 happens. I had a couple of ideas, maybe Spa, Indianapolis Road Course, Coda, just some ideas, Montreal, streets of Toronto. All right, enough teasing.
I like those ideas. Those sound like good ideas.
I was talking to you about it in the Discord. You like the idea of Spa, and I can't blame you for that one.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to see some cup cars at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Very, very fun circuit.
So Kevin Harvick has already driven off the racetrack. Someone try and tap into Kevin's radio, ask him what the heck he's doing. Hey,
Kevin's just making sure his tires can run good in the grass, make some outside passes in the grass maybe during the race.
Kevin,
who
what
knows?
are you
That could be his strategy.
hey, Kevin, this is Jonathan up in the TMG booth. You good? You good, Kevin?
Kevin's just vibing out in the grass, getting ready.
All right. We should be in for a fun race. Not going to take this too seriously. Just going to have some fun and see who's going to end up the winner after 30. Kevin, are you still in the grass? Oh, dear Kevin. What are you doing? Well, I guess he's not particularly known for his road course ability.
No, I think he has like 1 or 2 road course wins, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe. One surprise, Denny Hamlin is rounding out the field in last, which is very uncharacteristic of Hamlin. We know how good of a road course racer he is, so we'll see if he can maybe make his way towards the front. Ricky
The pace car peels off onto pit road. They're coming through 15A, and the 16 here.
Charles has his track notes. I really don't know much about the
Or
track.
14A and then 15.
All right, Charles, I'll let you have the command to green. Here comes the field off the final turn.
And Stenhouse is steady coming down the front straightaway, side by side still. And it looks like the green flag is in the air as Michael McDowell is going to take him 3 wide going into turn 1. Big move as Chase Elliott riding off the course. And Truex way out into the gravel. And the pace car would almost come back out on track. It looks like Ty Dillon fell all the way back to last as Stenhouse runs away with the lead.
Well, it's been a chaotic start. They were almost 3 wide behind now. Cole Custer trying to get up into that second spot. Chase Elliott falling way back. But up front, it's all Ricky Stenhouse.
Yeah, he's pulling away right now. And look at that. A big gaggle of cars, including Alexander Rossi.
Oh, no. What have I done?
Back there.
Oh, what have I done? Hold on. I've messed this up horribly. All right, here we go. And we got to watch out through here. A lot of drivers taking off the track, and Reddick's around. Collects Kyle Busch.
He got Kyle Busch through the chicane. I'm not sure that will bring out a caution. No, the pace car's still there.
It will not bring out a caution. We are still under green. Cole Custer has made his way into second as Ricky Stenhouse continues to lead. We'll take a look at a replay of the incident in just one moment. Tyler Reddick involved, got Kyle Busch as well. And as a Tyler Reddick fan at the least, this is a little bit heartbreaking, but you know, it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. So
what looks to happen is it looks like he just went a little wide going into the corner, clipped Kurt Busch, and then just had nowhere to go, and Kyle Busch was there.
So Kurt Busch inadvertently takes out his brother by using Tyler Reddick as a wrecking ball. Interesting.
Yeah, you see he was way out of the groove going into 7A.
Yeah, Reddick I think Reddick just got a little bit sideways, came back onto the racing line in front of Kurt Busch, and that is what happened to Tyler Reddick. Let's go back up front, make sure we're not missing any drama. Ty Dillon's falling way back, but I don't really remember where he was to start this race.
And Truex was on pit road. I saw when you were flipping through the camera, so something up with the Joe Gibbs entry for Truex.
Yeah, I think Harvick as well, I think, was on pit road with damage. Jimmie Johnson out as well. I know Truex went off at turn 1. I don't know what happened to Jimmie Johnson. Let's see.
That's a shame for Jimmie Johnson because if you remember, Saturday, he was in the IndyCar race and had a very good showing.
Looks like Jimmie Johnson may have just got stacked up at the start. And
that's what happened to Ty Dillon.
Well then.
Keselowski.
We have missed something at the start of the race. Looks like Brad Keselowski. We'll slow it down here. Looks like he just hooked Ty Dillon. No, Keselowski got hooked by Hamlin, then went into Ty Dillon and took out Jimmie Johnson. Into the wall they go. And then watch for Truex as well. I think Truex just goes off the track after running into Kyle Busch. Oh! No, Bowman got into...
he got punted by
Rossi.
Rossi, yeah.
So Bowman gets into Rossi and takes out Truex, but the caution does not come out because there's no spinners on the racetrack. Ty Dillon to pit road. Ty Dillon, Matt Benedetto to pit road. So a very dramatic start to this race here at Barber, but up front, Ricky Stenhouse has been able to pull away.
Very impressive for Stenhouse. They were going, as you remember, they were going 3 wide. It looked like Michael McDowell might have come out with the lead in that one into turn 1, but Stenhouse held his ground.
Battle for 5th here. Clint Boyer and Michael McDowell. Looks like they made a little bit of contact coming out of the hairpin there as they head towards the chicane. Quinn Half and Chase Elliott side by side with Byron ahead of that battle.
Chase Elliott, he's starting to move up after getting shuffled back on the start.
Remember, Elliott started.
Looks like he has a good car.
Elliott started all the way back in he started all the way up in second place. He got shoveled to the back pretty quickly, but now he is fighting his way back. Good showing by Joey Logano as well. Not particularly known as a road course racer, but it's been a solid day for him.
Yeah, he's been strong so far. It looks like we are focused on Quinn Half there for a little bit. He's showing steady right now in the opening laps of the race.
Quinn Half, I don't think he quite has the pace to stay up there with the leaders, but he's been solidly inside the top 5. Very good job by that Starcom 00 car. I can't talk. Ryan Preece going to go down the inside. Half's going to fight him back though, going into the final corner. This is a very this spot is on the racetrack is a really good overtaking spot for a lot of these drivers, so expect them to take advantage of it. Here's Quinn Half back down the inside of Ryan Preece. Watch out here.
Half's going to have position into turn number 1, and Prix gets loose on the outside.
Prix got a little bit sideways. Half's going to fight him back. This is a great battle going on here, and it's allowing Joey Logano to close up. Half went a little bit wide there. Logano might take advantage. He doesn't. Half's going to fight back down the inside of Chris Buescher.
And it looks like, I believe we met Ryan Prix there in the 37, but Ryan Prix, he's cleared Quinn Half.
Yeah, sorry, that paint scheme is very similar to Chris Buescher's in 2019, so I've been very used to calling that Chris Buescher. Here's Half back down the inside of Buescher. Joey Logano closing up to that battle. 3 wide momentarily. I think they're going to get that sorted. Half's going to get stuck on the inside. Joey Logano on the outside is going to have the advantage. Move Logano up into the... I want to say that's the 8th position, or 9th position. No, 10th position. Scoring takes a while to update. Here's Half back down the inside of Logano, though, so this is a great battle here for what I think is 9th place.
9th, 10th area there for sure.
Logano's going to get a run on the outside, but looks like Half's going to have the advantage heading into the final chicane on the racetrack. Solid showing by Joey Logano. Kind of slept on when you think about the good road course drivers, but he's been a very solid road course driver in the past. So we'll see if he can get anything done today as the field flies through the final sector of the racetrack.
Yeah, for sure. He's looking like a fast contender today. As Austin Dillon, you saw it when we were talking about in the pre-race. Tokyo drifting it through turn 1.
That's the line that I've seen a lot of drivers take, just getting really sideways through there. I think it's due in part to the elevation change, but also because I think that might just be the fastest way to get through that corner as we get a flyby of the field here.
And you see William Byron,
Bowman's
Chase
off.
Elliott, Alex Bowman off track.
Got a side-by-side battle there between Hendrick teammates. Look like that sorted out with Chase Elliott having the advantage. Elliott continuing to march his way back up to the front. You can see Sam Hornish offline there. We'll see... He's got a side-by-side battle going with Corey LaJoie. Hornish, one of the few dodges in this race, looking to maybe make a statement. Hornish is a very good road course racer. He's an on and off IndyCar driver, and he's pretty good at it. So we'll see if Sam Hornish can have a pretty good showing here.
Absolutely. We got a couple of IndyCar drivers, like you said, Sam Hornish, and of course we mentioned previously Alexander Rossi. Alexander Rossi's history here has been kind of hit or miss. But I'm not sure if Sam Hornish Jr. has raced here at Barber in the IndyCars.
Either way, Hornish having a very good showing. I think he's just outside the top 10. Yeah, Hornish right now running in, I want to say, around 16th, 17th. So, pretty good showing for him as the field ducks behind the trees there. Speaking of Hornish, now he's up the inside of Corey LaJoie, going to nab away that spot.
Yeah, for sure. There in front of him, you see Justin Haley in the 23. I'm assuming that would be Calling Racing entry. They're showing some speed here at Barber.
See if I can go ahead and find him. There he is. Yeah, Justin Haley having a very solid run here. He won a Canadian Tire, which isn't that dissimilar from Barber back in, I want to say, 2018. So a good showing by Justin Haley today.
Absolutely. And of course, we do know from AJ Allmendinger and I believe Chastain, they've showed that Calling Racing has a good road course program, at least in the Xfinity series, so that he could be a sleeper pick for the race win.
One question from the chat is, what car is Ryan Blaney in? Well, I thought he was just in another 12 car. Apparently, Ryan Blaney's not in this race. So, good job, NR2003. Very cool. Sorry to all the Ryan Blaney fans out there. I guess Blaney is not in this race. Should have been in this race. I had him on the entry list, and then NR2003 is like, nah, you don't get 2 12 cars. We got it to work at St. Pete, I guess. Just couldn't have the same luck here. So, things starting to quiet down just a little bit here at Barber. I think a lot of drivers kind of trying to make it towards the end. We're not even at the 1/3 mark yet, so still a long way to go. I think these drivers just kind of trying to make it for now. But things can happen at any moment, and if a caution comes out, well, that's basically going to reset the field.
Yeah, I'll stack them back up. I think NASCAR 2003 has single file restarts, so
Single file, yes.
That should be interesting going into turn 1.
So, another interesting fact here, Cole Custer is actually starting to run down our leader, Ricky Stenhouse here. The gap has gone from about 1.3 seconds to 1.14 seconds. So, Custer's starting to make inroads on your leader here.
And you do see Stenhouse just out of frame there in a couple camera shots. There you see Cole Custer going down toward the chicane right behind Stenhouse. He's closing in. He's hitting his apexes very well. Cole Custer, not really known as much of a road course ringer in the Xfinity Series. He didn't really have that much success there at your Road Americas or Mid-Ohio's, which are very similar to this track. But he's showing his strength today.
One question from the chat from Target24, when can I join the stream? Anytime you want. We might not actually end up with a caution, so I wouldn't bank on that happening. So if you want to come in and join, you are more than welcome to, Connor. Alright, we'll take a look at the gap this time by as they come back to the start-finish line. I do think Custer's maybe run down the leader just a little bit.
He is closing. Let's see what the gap is at the line. At the line, it will be
just up a little bit.
It froze on me for a second.
Gap now up to 1.17.
So it gained a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very fluid battle here. I think maybe Custer used up some of his stuff as Newman's off the track.
Off track there.
Newman's going to make it back on. Now Boyer on the outside is going to take away the 4th spot from Ryan Newman. Good job by Clint Boyer there to take away that spot. Doesn't look like Newman's going to have much for him.
Yeah, some good passing zones all around this track. It's a very good track to pass at within the corners, as you see Rossi showing exactly what I'm talking about through turns 5 and 6 and going toward the turn 7 chicane on the outside of Kyle Larson.
Justin Haley following Rossi through as well. I think this is just outside the top 10. Maybe Haley looking to put some pressure on Rossi, as behind Eric Almirola putting some pressure on Kyle Larson. Larson's able to hold off as Denny Hamlin has made his way up to the 23rd position. So from last on the grid, Hamlin up to 23rd. Maybe just a poor qualifying showing, but Hamlin is working his way up.
And Hamlin, if I recall, I don't even think he has a road course win in the Cup Series.
Nope.
So,
remember back in 2016 with the Watkins Glen race, Hamlin won that race.
Oh yeah, just one road course win, but he's kind of a sleeper pick, I guess you could say.
Side by side behind, that's going to be Eric Almirola down the inside of Kyle Larson, getting that pass done. Behind them, another side by side battle. That's Kurt Busch and Alex Bowman. So things getting pretty feisty in the midfield here. Just towards the front of the field, we're starting to see a little bit of kind of calmer action, which makes sense considering these drivers probably want to make it to the end.
An update on the gap between Stenhouse and Custer. It is now at 1.24. So Stenhouse, he was kind of lagging back there for a minute.
Oh, wait, never mind. So Custer has caught up to Ricky Stenhouse. Jimmie Johnson, who's a lap down, holding up the leaders, and Custer is going to drive up and try and take the lead away. Couldn't do it. That's going to back them up to Austin Dillon. Now Dillon actually looking to capitalize on that and get around Custer. Meanwhile, Stenhouse is still stuck behind Jimmie Johnson. Side by side behind. They're going to make it through there all right. Johnson blocking Stenhouse. Stenhouse back to the inside. What a battle heating up for the lead here. Now that Johnson's gotten in the way, it's really trapping Stenhouse. Stenhouse has had a lot of trouble getting around Johnson. That's going to close Custer right up to the bumper. Johnson's still alongside Stenhouse.
And don't look now, but here comes Custer's Haas teammate Clint Boyer coming just around Austin Dillon. He got 3rd.
Now Jimmie Johnson's actually going to hold up Cole Custer. I think Custer's going to have the run off the corner, but this is going to really help Cole Custer get up to Ricky Stenhouse. He's around Jimmie Johnson, and the gap now is down to 0.6 of a second. Custer up the inside of Johnson. He's going to get held up. That's going to get Dillon around the outside. Battle behind for 3rd. McDowell, Dillon, Boyer. Things are heating up at the front, and it's all thanks to Jimmie Johnson. McDowell trying to send one down the inside of Austin Dillon. Dillon's going to hold on as they come down the hill. Here's Chase Elliott, 3 wide. McDowell on the outside, Dillon up the inside. Johnson's going to have the advantage. Here comes McDowell up the inside. Battle behind Chase Elliott and Ryan Newman with Clint Boyer closing up to this group. What a race at the front of the field.
Absolutely, and we can all thank Jimmie Johnson for that.
Here comes Ryan Newman now trying to get Jimmie Johnson 1 lap down. He's going to go 3 wide, get
Newman
up to Clint
the
Boyer.
inside of Boyer, 3 wide on exit going past the museum.
So what I want to I think they're like really intense right now, so I don't know if we have time, but I want to go back and see what happened to Ricky Stenhouse to get him so close to Cole Custer, because that's a lot of time lost to just be held up behind a lapped car.
Yeah, it looks like he just couldn't find a way around him, or either was just kind of messing around with Johnson. Who knows?
Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened to Stenhouse now that things have quieted down just a little bit. I think Johnson must have, like, run him off the track or something.
I mean, that's my only guess, or he just didn't go around him and was laying back behind Johnson.
That was a big holdup for it to just be a lapped car holding him back, so I'm going to go ahead and guess, no, he really did just get held up behind Johnson. So that is how Stenhouse got right back to Cole Custer. Jimmie Johnson held him up, and 2 cars off the track. Boyer around Newman collected in that one as well. What do you want to bet that was Jimmie Johnson's fault?
Let's find out. I mean,
actually, it wasn't.
What happened?
So
Newman, Boyer.
They both just go right off the track.
No, they just went off track.
Wow.
And then Newman right into Boyer.
Nice.
On the exit of the gravel trap.
Take another look at it here in slow-mo. That's a horrible camera angle. Yep, they both just go clean off the track. Newman slides right up in a Boyer. Maybe a sign of tire degradation. Maybe these tires just can't quite hold him on the racetrack as good as they used to. Newman has fallen all the way back.
Yeah, that's a shame because just like a matter of 2 laps ago, he was fighting for 3rd.
Byron trying to get around his teammate Jimmie Johnson is going to let, who's in that 60 car? Austin Cindric close up to the bumper of William Byron. Lots of battles going on throughout the racetrack. We'll go back up front where Cole Custer is starting to fall back from Ricky Stenhouse. So Stenhouse has a really strong car here today, but don't look now. Chase Elliott has made his way all the way up to, I want to say, 5th. He is in 5th, so good job by Chase Elliott there.
Recovering after the melee in turn 1 that was on the first lap. He's showing some speed today. And another driver I did want to talk about was Austin Cindric, a road course runner in the Xfinity Series, has other road course experience in IMSA, I believe. He could be a sleeper pick here at Barber.
Yeah, Austin Cindric definitely having a good day, and watch out behind because Jimmie Johnson is on the inside of Jones, Corey LaJoie in that one as well. You know, I feel like this happened at the St. Pete Grand Prix as well, where Jimmie Johnson was just holding up the leaders, and it's happening again. So, Jimmie Johnson, maybe someone needs to park him. Oh, and Jones is going to try and dump Jimmie Johnson. He was all over the bumper of that 48 car, and he still can't get around him. That's going to let Joey Logano close up. Looks like Logano might have fallen back a little bit.
And look behind, you see Newman, Sam Hornish, Christopher Bell, Rossi all back behind him. And they're closing in because of Jimmie Johnson.
So Jimmie Johnson, I'd like to thank Jimmie Johnson for making this race a lot more interesting. Things were starting to quiet down, not anymore. Things have just been cranked up to 11. Here's Ryan Newman now trying to get back around Jimmie Johnson. He already had gotten around Jimmie Johnson, but he got involved in that incident, which put him right back on the bumper.
Jimmie Johnson really showing his Ryan Newman impression today to Ryan Newman. Saying, hey, you're the blockmaster, right? Try and pass me.
Ryan Newman has gotten Ryan Newman. Speaking of Ryan Newman, here he goes down the inside of Jimmie Johnson, finally able to get around him. Sam Hornish able to get around as well. I want to say this battle is for 13th, but at the same time...
Here comes Rossi.
He's
going to go on the outside through turn 15.
Good move by Rossi there to get around the outside of Jimmie Johnson. He's going to get him clean and green. And Justin Haley, what a move.
Justin Haley on the inside almost makes it work.
Haley went flying up to Jimmie Johnson there. Chris Buescher went sideways. So, again, a really good midfield battle, but things a little bit quieter towards the front of the field. Cole Custer not quite able to get up there to, that's not what I wanted to do. Not quite able to get up there to Ricky Stenhouse. Let's take a nice aerial view of the chicane here. Tried to time that better, but didn't quite work out.
Yeah, right now things have kind of cooled down, except in the mid-pack with Jimmie Johnson still very slow off the pace. But Stenhouse has kind of evened it out a little bit.
I think it's safe to say that Jimmie Johnson is probably going to be the villain of the race at this point. He is not making a lot of friends.
For sure, absolutely. He's not. He's going to have a lot of people trying to get to him after this race on pit road, for sure.
That'd be cool if NR 2003 did, like, fights, and you have two little poorly rendered 2D guys getting out of pit road. They're just kind of walking into each other in the best 2003 fight sequence they can pull off.
Yeah, like, I think it's like NASCAR Thunder 2005, where you can make your character, and they're, like, just, like, seizuring, trying to fight another driver. and you got like one crew member holding him back, and it's like
That's the mod we need. Any modders in the chat? Can you make a fight on pit road mod?
seeing Hamlin up the inside of Johnson. He's gonna have the preferred line into turn 1.
Side by side, Eric Jones and William Byron. This is just outside the top 10, so Byron's fallen back just a little bit. Jones trying to get a run there. I think we should see pit stops around lap 16. No. We'll probably see pit stops actually around lap 22. So towards the end of the race, we'll see our first cycle of pit stops.
Yeah, so it looks like it'll probably be a one-stop race.
All that sliding through turn 1 definitely taking a toll on the tires. Ricky Stenhouse has pulled out from the field. He's been putting on a dominant performance so far.
Yeah,
Also,
I'm actually kind of shocked. I mean, I guess it makes sense since this is JTG Daughtery equipment. Of course, we know former driver AJ Allmendinger, the road course ringer, drove that same 47 car. So I guess in a way it kind of makes sense that Stenhouse is doing pretty good here.
So, according to Connor, he is currently in the booth. Connor, if you have a microphone, well, I know you do because you did the All-Star Race broadcast. If you want to join the voice chat, go ahead and you can just chime into the broadcast. If you're on the Discord app, make sure that you can see my screen share.
Hello.
Hey! Is this Target 24? Is this Connor?
Yeah.
We got Connor. Connor's here. All
Welcome
right.
to the booth, Connor.
We got a
Thank
three.
you.
We got a 3-man broadcast at this point. We're going NBC style.
Without Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I mean, we have seen a couple of slide jobs here throughout
Slide
the field,
job!
so. As you see Austin Cindric closing up on Quinn Houff.
Got a
He's
little loose
coming.
there. One question I see in the chat, can you just randomly join the booth? No. Originally, we were supposed to have Connor here from the start of the race, but he was not able to make it for the start. But since he was able to make it about halfway in, I decided, yeah, come along. Alright, now we are closing in on halfway. I'm really surprised by the performance of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I'm surprised we haven't seen more cautions, but as these tires get older, going through turn 1, I've seen this a lot specifically in practice races, where drivers would really get loose and they'd overcorrect and they'd go into the wall. We could see a caution out of that, so race isn't over
we're
until
gonna
it's
have to
over.
Watch for that.
Here is Ryan Prix up the inside of Corey LaJoie. Good battle here.
Yeah, Ryan Prix also showing that even though we know him as mostly the short track guy, he can race pretty good on the road courses too.
I know him as the guy that I had really high expectations for and got disappointed by.
Yeah. Hopefully this year's better, and since he's in the 37, which is kind of the better car of the two last year.
If we ever go back racing.
2021, baby. Let's go.
Hey, all that means is more time for Grand Prix exhibition races.
Yeah.
We'll hit all the hot spots. We'll go to Sebring, Road Atlanta, all of them. All the tracks.
If there's a mod for
Everywhere.
Road Atlanta at night, that's one of the tracks I want to go to. Alright, so things definitely starting to quiet down. Battle between Clint Bowyer and Denny Hamlin. Boyer's fallen way back. Wonder if he went off at turn 1.
I know earlier he did have an offing with Ryan Newman because of Jimmie Johnson, so that might have been a part of it.
Austin Dillon maybe starting to gain here on Cole Custer. Battle, the gap now between Stenhouse and Custer higher than ever at 1.7 seconds.
Yeah, Stenhouse really shocking everyone.
I mean, I figured that his qualifying performance was probably going to be a fluke. It wasn't. Stenhouse is pulled away from the field. Better question, though. Where's the next lap car? Ooh, Kyle. So Stenhouse is actually coming up on Kyle Busch. And I feel like...
Oh.
And did they not have a run-in at the St. Pete Grand Prix? I feel like they did. 'Cause I know
I think so.
Stenhouse wrecked a bunch of people at St. Pete.
Yeah, and of course Kyle Busch, if we go back to 2017, had some words with Stenhouse after Stenhouse won at Talladega. So, who knows what could happen here coming up on Kyle Busch.
I was shocked in 2017 when Stenhouse got 2 Cup Series wins.
I think all of us were.
You know, I expected, maybe, maybe like one win. Nah.
Man scored 2 and could have, like, if he won at Talladega in the playoffs, like, he could have made it far.
You know what? Championship contender Ricky Stenhouse, 2017 edition.
Championship seasons 27, Ricky Stenhouse 2017. Black Flags Matter, get on it.
Here's Denny Hamlin on Clint Boyer. This is also one of the spots I noticed in practice races, and it nearly happened just then. I was going to say that this is one of the spots I noticed in practice races that landed us in a lot of trouble. Well, it almost happened again, which would have been perfect timing. Would have been Larry McReynolds timing.
Yeah, Boyer near about ran Denny Hamlin into the inside arm coat off exit of the corner there.
I'm going to pretend like I know what an arm coat is. Yes, haha.
The railing.
Ah, I see. That makes sense.
Right now, you see a lot of these drivers getting loose, and we have recently just passed the halfway point in this race. I wouldn't be surprised if green flag pit stops were to happen soon if we don't get a caution.
Quite a gap back to Stenhouse from Kyle Busch. You can see everything's starting to get a little bit more spread out at the front of the field. Again, I still think drivers are trying to make it towards the end before they really, towards that first cycle of pit stops before they really step their game up. Quite a few lapped cars in front of Kyle Busch, though, so Stenhouse might want to watch out here.
Yeah, Kyle Busch, kind of a shock today. He was involved in the chaos in the first couple of corners on the start of the race. Sadly, he has not even had a chance to really show what he can do here at Barber. I really think he could have been up front contending with Stenhouse or some other drivers if that hadn't have happened.
Justin Haley, Sam Hornish here racing for the 13th position. In front of them, William Byron and Eric Jones. Byron in that beautiful sea glass car. I didn't really like it at Daytona, but I'm starting to see it more now. I'm starting to like that car.
It kind of gives me a, 2000s Jeff Gordon DuPont car vibes.
Byron's going to have
to run here. You know what I'm talking about, the blue with the orange flames, the hot pink flames, I mean.
Now, according to Team Hendrick, the only car that Jeff Gordon never ran was the Rainbow Warrior, because that's the only one they want to throw back to.
That's a shame, because, I grew up with, the DuPont flames,
I remember, I think I saw a video, that they should do a throwback to, Jeff Gordon's, black car, and I'm like, yeah, I'm tired of the Rainbow Warrior. Although I guess they did...
As much as I love the Rainbow Warrior, it's getting kind of old.
They did do something different this year with the, Days of Thunder throwback. I think that's the right movie. I paid attention.
Yeah. I think it's the culture.
Yeah.
I mean, as a Byron fan, I'd know.
So not much happening right now, other than a little battle here between Chris Buescher and Kurt Busch.
Chris Buescher trying to gain on Kurt Busch here. Not close enough to make a move going into turn 7A, but he is closing in as much as he can.
So we are coming closer to the end of the race. It's been a pretty short race so far. So I gotta ask, what has been your biggest surprise of the race?
Stenhouse, by far, putting a dominant performance on the field from the start. Almost lost the lead going into turn 1 with 3 wide with Michael McDowell and Chase Elliott. But he held his line and he put the foot to the gas and the pedal to the metal, and he is running away.
Stenhouse now 2 seconds in front of the field.
Over to 2 seconds, yeah.
So a great run being put on by Ricky Stenhouse. Eric Jones and William Byron here. This is for just outside the top 10.
As you see, Corey LaJoy, 10th. Austin Cindric coming in the 6th. Quinn Houff has managed to actually gain position from early in the race in the top 10, as there was a moment where he was just outside the top 10. He's gone back up to 7th.
I just had it frozen there for a second because I wanted to see if anyone was going to slide out at that corner. When the field gets a little bit more spread out and as we get older on those tires, that's been one of the trouble spots for these drivers, is through that corner.
For sure. I'm interested to see if anyone, who makes the first stop, who makes the first move on the pits.
That's also one thing I'm interested in. Now, I cannot guarantee that there are going to be pit stops, but I think that there are going to be at least one, and if Cole Custer is able to undercut Ricky Stenhouse, that would be a good move by that 41 team. They might even be able to get the lead. See how much an undercut is worth when we get into the cycle of pit stops. Looked for a second there like Custer was going to bring it in. He did not.
I think it will be interesting to see if some of these drivers take 2 tires here. Because, hey, track position is very important right now. Seems like some of these drivers are having trouble passing.
There might be some drivers who might even just do some, like a, what do they call it, a splash and dash? Something like that, where they just get some fuel and they leave the pits. That might be an option here, too, depending on how these drivers feel, or how these AI really feel about their tires.
Yeah, because you have seen them sliding around a few of these turns. Like you saw Newman and I believe Boyer got loose.
Newman got loose. Boyer got loose. My biggest surprise of the race is honestly the lack of cautions. I expected at least 1 or 2, especially one off the start of the race. So the fact that we haven't seen any is a little bit surprising, but it's made some very good racing. I think that the racing overall today has been very good, especially when Johnson was able to stack up the field. I know it may not have been like the biggest spectacle, but I think this is a solid way to start off the series.
Yeah, this is looking like the 2018 Aero package.
Yeah. Here's Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace. They're coming up to that spot on the racetrack, which we know can be troublesome. I don't think he moved him. I think Wallace just got a little bit loose. He's going to try and fight him back on the outside, and it looks like he has fought him back successfully. Good job by Wallace there.
Got the momentum on the exit from the chicane going past the museum there, and he has cleared him.
There's a really good close-up of Bubba Wallace's car. I don't know why. There's one camera angle with this track that will, like, literally put you inside the car. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is, so maybe we'll use it towards the end of the race. Also, we've been able to maintain around 20 viewers throughout the race, so yay us. I'm glad that this broadcast has done well, despite the somewhat lack of, spectacle-ish racing.
Yeah, a pretty successful stream.
Denny
At least
Hamlin's,
for like a smaller channel.
Hamlin's still trying to size up a move on Bubba Wallace here as they go towards turn
this battle's
1.
not
No, that was close.
Oh, going into turn 1, Hamlin forced the issue. Hamlin's going to go way wide through turns 2 and 3.
That's going to let Rossi close up.
And here comes Rossi. He is closing up on those 2. As the more they fight side by side, Rossi will close in.
So Hamlin's still not able to get the move done. That was very close through turn 1, but still wasn't quite able to make it work out. You can see a bit of a train here for him behind Bubba Wallace. Denny Hamlin there, Rossi there. Eric Jones maybe the next to get absorbed into the train. If that's not the most cultish thing I've ever said on this channel.
And I saw back there in the pack there, Hamlin once again trying up the inside on exit.
Eric, it is time for you to be absorbed into the train. And Denny Hamlin still trying to size up a move on Bubba Wallace. Looks like he's going to try and get it done this time by, but we know how slow these guys can get when they're side by side. It's going to let Rossi close up. Wallace is going to fight Hamlin back up the inside. They're really close through there. Wallace is going to go back up the inside. Hamlin fights him back side by side into the final corner of the racetrack. Wallace is going to have a run on the outside. Can he make it work into turn 1? Looks like Hamlin's going to get that spot.
The thing is, with the passing, there's a lot of, quick left-right or right-left corners. So, you could have the preferred line in one corner and then just a few feet ahead. The car next to you will have the preferred line.
Just got to cut in here because there are pit stops happening now. And guess who is one of the drivers to come to pit road? Cole Custer. So sorry, Connor, you didn't quite get your chance to shine there as the pit road reporter. But we do have pit stops going on now. So we'll see if Ricky Stenhouse responds on this lap.
Oh, we got pit stops.
His tires are pretty worn on the 47 by now. He's been trying to get away from that 41 all day because that 41 has been pouncing.
All right, we'll see if they come to pit road this time by. It seems like a smart idea for Stenhouse to respond. We've seen how not responding to undercuts can really, really ruin your race in extreme fashion. We saw it at the Hungarian Grand Prix back in 2019. Looks like Stenhouse is going to bring it in this lap. Connor, he is coming to you.
Yeah, I imagine those tires have got to be pretty worn right now. See this. The 47 machine and the 3 machine coming down pit road. I'm going to imagine 4 tires and fuel right now for most of these cars. As we have had almost 20 laps of green flag racing. These tires have got to be pretty worn.
4 tires and fuel does seem like the right call. Stenhouse going to be in that number 1 pit stall. We'll see if he has any issues on pit road.
Yeah, I want to see if any more of your leaders come down pit road because, hey, strategy game could play a big part in the later race.
2 tires
hey,
going
you never
on.
know. We might never be able to get a caution here.
Bit of a hold up for Stenhouse, and Stenhouse is away with 2 tires. So now the question is, how many did Custer take? Looks like most of them have taken 2. There's Custer coming by on the racetrack, and actually, Stenhouse is able to overcut Custer. Custer is going to lose a spot on the racetrack, so a bad strategy call by that 41 team is going to cost them a spot. Stenhouse pulls even further away from the field.
Yeah, I'm wondering how those 2 tires are going to hold up, though, because you've already seen them, like 3 or 4 laps into this race. They were already sliding around.
Let's go back to Cole Custer, because I want to see if he took 2 or 4 tires, because that maybe it was just a slow pit stop, but I'm surprised that Custer wasn't able to get the lead there because of the undercut. That is not far back enough. Yeah, it looks like just maybe tires were holding up better than we thought, because that was either a slow 4-tire stop or just a bad strategy call by Cole Custer's team.
I've been so impressed with Quinn Houff this race, to be honest. Like,
3-man
he's done
battle
such
here.
a fantastic job.
Sorry to cut you off there for just a second. Definitely a good job by Quinn Houff, but we have a 3-man battle here. Eric Jones, Bubba Wallace, Matt DiBenedetto going to go into this section of the racetrack. Oh, there they go! Hard to the wall. Eric Jones collects
the inside wall. DiBenedetto involved. Bubba Wallace involved. Will that bring out the caution?
And it will. I do think that we have a caution out on the racetrack now for a 3-car incident coming through that straightaway. We can verify it with the pace car now. And we do have a caution out on the racetrack. We will have a restart to decide this race. Oh boy, things are going to get interesting. Well, to the 20 people in the stream now, you are in for a good show. Lots of cars coming out of pit road, lots of cars getting stacked up. Let's take a look at what happened to bring out this caution.
But the real question here is, who does this affect in the pit strategy?
Well, I told you guys it was a trouble spot, and I was right. Let's take a look at what happened.
From first glance, it looks like Eric Jones slipped up out of the groove on exit of the, I'm assuming, museum corner. Bubba Wallace it looks like Bubba just turned him, really. Jones hard hit. DiBenedetto had nowhere to go. He was a victim in this.
So taking
another
look at it right here, I think Eric Jones is just kind of slow out of the corner. Bubba Wallace was going a little bit faster than Jones. He didn't have enough time to react. And I think once he knew that he was hooked on Eric Jones, he tried to just turn left on him, try and get away. Unfortunately, Matt DiBenedetto, an innocent bystander there, nowhere to go, gets collected. Hard hit for Eric Jones, most likely an end to their days. Wallace goes through the 4-board and continues sliding around the racetrack. Let's go on board with Bubba Wallace here.
You see through the switchback underneath Eric Jones, and yeah, you saw the wheel was turning left, trying to get unhooked from Eric Jones, and, well, chaos ensued after.
I think Jones checked up in the middle of the corner. Bubba Wallace wasn't expecting it, and that's going to bring out the caution. Lights are on the pace cars, so we will have one more lap until the restart. I don't think there are going to be pit stops, considering that there were about 2 laps ago, but there might be. You can never really be sure. Alright, so to the 24 people now tuning in, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really hope that we're in for a good race here, so you can get us an exciting finish lined up here. One thing that may be important to note, that even in, the AI world, the sim world, cautions breed cautions. We saw it in the Bristol race today in the Pro Invitational. I think we're going to see it again. When this field is stacked up on the restart, we could see another caution. Now, from any test races, I think cautions take out about 2 laps of the race, so the red flag lap is going to be around lap 30. So if we do get a caution right after the restart, it will not end the race.
All right, just a quick update here. Really sorry, but I'm going to have to go. Thank you guys so much for having me in the booth today.
All right, no problem, Connor. Thanks for joining in. Bye.
Goodbye.
As expected, no one is going to...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No one's going to bring it into the pit lane except for the cars that were involved in that one, and Kyle Busch and Martin Truex. Interesting strategy call there.
I noticed Bubba Wallace stayed out, even though he was involved in that caution.
Did he stay out? Well, Yeah. So Bubba Wallace stayed out. Maybe not. Maybe he hasn't retained as much damage as everyone else. Not sure about that. Lights are... Oh, they're still on at the pace car. Okay, so we'll go back restarting on lap... I want to say 20... let's see, 28. So, if there's a caution after the restart, I think we'll have about a 1-lap dash to the end, so hopefully there is no caution. Really quickly, I just want to shout out our sponsors for the race, Will Nunn and NASCAR Kumon Cup Series. You can go subscribe to their YouTube channels of the same name, and another thanks to Charles Bowen for broadcasting this race with me. It's been a ton of fun to have you on, and I'm excited to broadcast the end.
Absolutely. We got the field stacked up. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. probably slamming on the wheel once that caution flag waved, saying, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me." Because he had such a gap. He was pretty much whooping the field.
Update, lights
before this caution.
So lights are actually off on the pace car, which means that we will go back restarting this lap, so we'll have a little bit more leeway for a second caution to come out after the restart. So hopefully we will end this race under green. You never want to end a race under yellow after all. Oh, well, that's a horrible angle. I was hoping we would actually be able to kind of see inside Ricky Stenhouse's car. Instead, we just get a giant view of his roof.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. With the Ryan Priest throwback, but
Shh. This mod was made in 2019. Okay, I don't have control over this.
I know, but nah. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. really showing off what he's got today.
We're just gonna ignore that Ryan Priest name. You don't see that. No one sees that. One question in the chat: why do some cars have real paint schemes and some are fictional? Mostly because the mod that I downloaded has some custom paint schemes. Shout out to Splash and Go Graphics for creating the mod. However, some of the paint schemes were very inaccurate, so last night I downloaded some extra cars. A lot of the cars that were different at the St. Pete Grand Prix but are no longer different, those are some of the ones that I downloaded last night. Eric Almirola's car is accurate now. Chris Buescher's is. A lot of the cars are more accurate. Tyler Reddick's is as well. Alright, so we're coming back to the restart. What do you think? Chaos, or are we going to have some good racing?
I'm going to say chaos, because look at the names you got in the top 5. You got Stenhouse leading, Austin Dillon, if you remember, all I have to say, 2018 Daytona 500.
No, what I got to say is 2016 Bank of America 400, the Charlotte playoff race. Dillon restarted without taking any tires in the lead, and he ended up causing a huge pileup.
Yeah, I remember that. And then behind him, you got Michael McDowell putting on a good show for Front Row Motorsports. Chase Elliott, road course winner the last 2 years at like I said in pre-race, twice at the Glen and then at the Roval. And let's just remember, at the Roval, he came back to win from an early race incident going head-on into the Tums Heartburn turn.
Actually, what was most impressive to me is that the incident was not at all early race. It happened with like 20 to go. He was still able to claw his way towards the front. I think Chase Elliott might actually have a chance at winning this race, especially if the top 4 get taken out on the restart.
Absolutely, and we are coming back to the green this time as pace car keeps on straight off of 14A. And Stenhouse is going to be in control of this restart.
All right, it's gonna be fun. I'm getting nervous here. Let's hope that we are in for a good race. Ricky Stenhouse in that 47 car, leading the field back to green. It takes a lot longer for the green flag to be shown than you might think, but here we go. Green flag back in the air.
And it looks like Chase Elliott, he pulls out almost immediately. He's gonna try up the inside of Michael McDowell. There you see it. Oh, and he got the move done.
4 wide. Oh,
really
dear. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my Lord. All right, we got big trouble. Elliott's off the track. Oh, man. Chase Elliott's going swiftly in a hurry towards the back. A lot of cars off. Stenhouse involved.
The leader has wrecked out of the Grand Prix.
Caution is back out on the racetrack. Ricky Stenhouse out. So is Cole Custer and Austin Dillon.
No.
Drama on the racetrack. All right, that's a lot of screaming.
Domination to just defeat in only a matter of 3 laps. All 3 of the top 3 are all out of the race.
See,
Stenhouse is has to be so peeved off right now because of this. Let's take a look at what happened to cause this, though.
I told y'all we weren't going to take this very seriously. All right. So, coming through, this isn't even a trouble spot on the racetrack. And Austin Dillon right behind the 47 car.
I'm going to assume what happened. Stenhouse saw him. He was slightly out of the line. Comes back right across the nose.
Man.
Oh, he almost flips it. And Cole Custer, another innocent victim.
Custer hard into the wall.
Ooh.
The chaos of Barber has taken over.
But let's just think. That takes out the 3 best cars of the race. Who's now leading the race right
Michael
now?
McDowell has taken control of this race. Actually, we didn't watch the race back to the line, so we're in 2003 rules, which means that we're racing back to the line. I don't know if Michael McDowell actually won that race. Let's take a look at this in real speed. Oh, my.
Big hit from Stenhouse. And Custer. And Dillon.
Let's go
Just
ahead and
big hits all around.
let's go on board with all these drivers, take a look at what they were seeing during the incident. Oh, my.
It looks like what happened, Austin Dillon kind of got hooked on the back bumper of Stenhouse. We saw something similar to this at St. Pete in that one trouble spot corner with, I believe it was Christopher Bell or Matt Benedetto. And Austin Dillon, they got stuck together and just couldn't hook.
On board with Cole Custer, so close to making it through, gets shot out at the end, and hard into the wall goes Custer. Man, that
Custer
sucks.
with that impact with Austin Dillon reminds me of what happened to Scott Dixon in the 2017 Indy 500. How that one car it hit the wall, came back on track, and Scott Dixon had nowhere to go except into that car. But luckily, Cole Custer kept it on the ground.
And Michael McDowell sees his life flash before his eyes. Driving through here, there's a car flying. Dillon's going across the track, and he's like, nope. All right.
He kept his foot in it. He almost got clipped by Stenhouse, I believe.
I mean, really,
And
what?
there you see Ryan Prix. And I believe Quinn Houff is going to be in the top 3.
I mean, what do these drivers have to lose, right? You know, it's an exhibition race. There's no points on the line. Let's see if Michael McDowell is actually able to win the race back to the line. We'll take a look at it in a little bit of fast forwarding here. Joey Logano also up into 4th. Good job by that 22 team.
Yeah, it looks like Quinn Houff will clear for 3rd. Michael Cosi Jr., if he was watching this, he would be in the chat most likely screaming.
If only Michael Cosi Jr. was watching this. So race back to the line, won by Michael McDowell. He will be your race leader after that dramatic restart. I'd like to point out that our broadcasting was just screaming random stuff that whole time. That was fun. All right.
Well, I was expecting to say on the final lap that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. put the final nail in the final coffin, but it looks like it might not be as dominant.
And that hammering you hear is the sound of the nail coffin in the final race for Ricky Stenhouse. Other thing I wanted to look at was just the restart in general. They were going 4 wide. I wouldn't be surprised if someone wrecked in the back when everyone was getting up to speed. This is why I think that this series was a good idea, because it's just pure chaos. It's awesome. All right,
and let's look at Quinn Houff. He was back a ways on the restart there. You see him bunched really back in the top 10.
Look at that.
Jimmie Johnson goes wide. Another car goes.
They were 4 wide, and then up at the front, Stenhouse into the wall, up and over.
No, that was a big hit.
Big hit for Ricky Stenhouse. Keselowski to pit road, so is Ty Dillon. The rest of the field stays out on the racetrack. Tyler Reddick to pit road. Couple of gamblers here as we come towards the end of the race, but none of the leaders. You said you wanted to look at Quinn Houff, right?
Yeah, in fact, I just want to take a look at your all-star top 5. We got Michael McDowell, Ryan Prix, Quinn Houff, Joey Logano, and Christopher Bell. Round out your top 5.
So we'll know for this restart that it's always the best idea to focus on the race leaders.
I'd say on this restart, be looking at Joey Logano or Christopher Bell.
I mean,
because man, oh man.
I mean, we know how good Joey Logano is at restarts. It's won him a couple of races in the past. That's really one of the things that I think a lot of people sleep on him as well. Joey Logano is one of the best guys in the field at restarting.
And look at this. He was almost 3 wide with Logano and Austin Cindric going into the first corners, turn 2 and 3.
Leaders get
there
taken
you see
out.
There's the dust. And then the battle with Austin Cindric to get third, racing back to the line.
All right, I think
Cindric almost got him there.
We got to go back live because we are coming closer to the restart. Lights are out on the pace car, so at this point, a caution after the restart would end us with a 1-lap dash back to the line. So hopefully this race will end under green, but good part about 2003 rules, even if a caution does come out late in the race, we still get a race back to the line.
Absolutely. And we thought last restart was going to be kind of tame, but as we saw, it wasn't, as the top 3 wiped out. So who knows what could happen.
All right. So, William Byron also inside the top 10. Heavy damage to Chase Elliott. Ryan Preece also sustained some damage in that. The field has really been shaken up, but I think this is going to lead to one of the best restarts that you've ever seen on this channel.
Absolutely. Like I said, though, on the restart, going into turn 2, turn 3, I would be having that camera just in case.
I'm going to put it on the leaders. You cut out there for just a second, but I'm guessing you said on the leaders. Or you said on Joey Logano. Quick, which one did you say? Leaders or Joey Logano?
I'd say put the camera on Joey Logano for this restart, because I have a feeling we ain't done wrecking here, boys.
Let's go to helicopter cam. This should give us a nice overhead view of everything. You can see the skid marks there from Eric Jones and Bubba Wallace. Race fans.
So let's see. We had a caution-free race up until the final 10 laps, and then all hell breaks loose at Barber Motorsports Park.
All right, race fans, are you ready for some chaos? Joey Logano, one of the best restarts in the business, starting 4th. Austin Cindric, one of the most aggressive road racers in the business, starting 6th. The dominant cars of the race, all taken out, and Quinn Houff for Starcom in the top 5. What do you say that if Quinn Houff wins this race, we just tweet at Michael Cozy Jr., hey, look what happened, Michael! Look at this!
Oh, absolutely, man. I don't know. I don't want to be biased in this race, but I'm kind of rooting for Quinn Houff to pull off the upset here.
I think Quinn Houff has a great chance at it. You know, I mean, if Reddick was in the top 5, you know who I'd be voting for. But okay, so we're coming to the restart here. Here's a quick overview of everything. Sam Hornish Jr. also with a great showing. Final thoughts: are we wrecking or are we racing to the line?
I think in the scenario of checkers or wreckers I'm going to have set up here, it's going to be wreckers for the top 3 going on exit of turn 3 going into 4.
Here we go. Camera on the leaders as we come back to the green flag into the something restart zone. Your leader is Michael McDowell, and he is down and away, but not well. Look at Ryan Preece on the restart, getting right to the bumper. Quinn Houff there as well.
Bumper of Houff. Houff dives it into turn 1. And he clears for second, not quite, as here comes Ryan Preece up the inside with the help of Joey Logano coming into the corner where the leaders wrecked on the last restart. They make it through clean. Logano on the outside of Quinn Houff. Houff clears Logano. Right now, Michael McDowell running away from Ryan Preece as Quinn Houff is closing in.
Looking back through the field, just making sure no one's been taken out in a huge, vicious incident. Looks like everyone's actually made it through cleanly. So, good job by these drivers to make it through. Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm honestly surprised that we haven't seen a wreck yet on this restart. As I say that, Clint Boyer nearly turns Kyle Busch. What a race. All right. Let's go back to the battle for the lead. Quinn Houff closing in on Ryan Preece for second as we come to 3 laps to go.
And I think if there is a caution on this lap, that won't end the race.
If a caution comes out, then the race is over, but keep in mind that we are still racing back to the line, so it would have to be very ill-timed of a caution for it to end the race pretty much this lap. And yeah, the entire field's making it through cleanly, so I'm impressed. Good job, y'all. We've actually
Ryan Preece, he's trying to get everything he can to catch up to Michael McDowell, and right now it looks like Quinn Houff is kind of losing ground on Ryan. Could Ryan Preece possibly send it in one of these corners? And
I mean, Again, what do these guys got to lose? We know Ryan Preece is a short track racer. He's aggressive. Battle for third now. Joey Logano and Quinn Houff. Logano trying to make a move down the inside, and here comes Ryan Preece. He's been on the bumper of McDowell, but can he make anything work? Look at that right side damage to Preece. What a story it would be if he was able to take it to victory lane with that much damage.
Absolutely, and he is closing.
Just got to make sure no one's wrecking. We know how chaotic it gets through here. We see wrecks all the time, so. All right, no wrecking. We're probably going to go green to the end at this point. Can Ryan Preece pull off the upset?
I mean, he lost a bit of ground on exit museum, but going into turn 9 and 10, he kind of gains a little bit.
And a good line for Ryan Preece through there. He's trying to close up to the bumper of McDowell, but McDowell's got a clean race car. He's fast. He's pulling away as we're coming to 2 laps to go this time by. Can Preece say anything?
McDowell's holding it down.
McDowell's just going to enter that corner a little bit wide. Preece can't take advantage of it. Here we come to 2 laps to go. The race isn't over until it's over. Just got to make sure there isn't a caution. There is none. 2 laps to go this time by. Can Ryan Preece pull off the upset and win over Michael McDowell here at Barber? We know McDowell's a good road course racer. He won in the Xfinity Series, I want to say back in 2017. I know it was at a road course. I think it was at Mid-Ohio. Maybe these, the tracks in the Xfinity Series similar to Barber that we're running today. I think McDowell's the favorite at this point, but I think Ryan Preece has a good chance of taking it away. And
imagine if Michael McDowell wins here at Barber. We know Front Row Motorsports is as like the plate track guys with I believe it was, I forgot who
David
it was.
Reagan?
David Reagan, yeah, back in 2013-14 in that 34 car. So hey, who knows right now?
McDowell is starting to gap Ryan Preece. Bit of a battle brewing behind Christopher Bell. Starting to gain a little bit on Quinn Houff. Looking back through the field again, things quieted down. I think these drivers know how dangerous this track is. They don't want to make a misstep. They want to try and make it to the end. Ooh, but this could get dangerous. They are going to make it through cleanly.
2 IndyCar drivers.
The 2 Dodges in the race make it through safely. And Michael McDowell still continuing to gap Ryan Preece. Coming to the white flag this time by. No battles behind. Will Ryan Preece be able to pull off the upset, or is it Michael McDowell's race to lose?
Coming through the final corner down the front straightaway to take the white flag, it is Michael McDowell right now. Ryan Preece, it looks like he's going to be too far back to make anything happen into turn 1.
Michael McDowell pulling away with this race lead. The last time Michael McDowell won in the Cup Series was never. Michael McDowell has never won a race in a Cup car. Can he do it today? Joey Logano off the track and let Quinn Houff go down the outside.
Quinn Houff.
Houff down the outside is going to take away third from Joey Logano.
Take the position.
No battles going on the racetrack, but this is a pretty tightly congested field right here. Tyler Reddick with a great run going, really. I think he got involved early on in the race, but that I Am Second Chevrolet has worked his way up to around the 13th spot.
Absolutely. Well, let's go back up front, see if Ryan Preece not close enough, guys. I think Michael McDowell has it sealed.
Michael McDowell pretty much has this race in the bag. Can Ryan Preece do anything about it in the final moments of this race? You can see behind Austin Cindric pressuring Christopher Bell for the final spot in the top 5. But up front, it is all Michael McDowell. Charles, I think you got to say the line.
That hammering you hear is nailing the final coffin of Ryan Preece's hopes of upsetting Michael McDowell on a chaotic restart. It's all Michael McDowell for Front Row Motorsports down the front straightaway. Michael McDowell wins at Barber.
And Michael McDowell has put together the race to win. Good job by Michael McDowell on winning the first ever NASCAR Grand Prix Exhibition Series race here at Barber. You can see the rest of the field coming by now. Tyler Reddick, where did he finish? Where did the best driver in the world finish? 19th. What a great showing. Good job, Tyler. Woo!
And it looks like Logano got back around Quinn Houff on the last lap. Quinn Houff will finish 4th. Amazing showing by Starcom Racing and Quinn Houff.
So how about that? The first race of the NASCAR Grand Prix Exhibition Challenge Series in the books, and what a way to start it off. Michael McDowell was able to come away with the victory after a chaotic last lap restart. Why is that just showing a tree? Oh god, what have I done? Okay, there we go. After a chaotic restart, was able to give him the lead. He was able to hold on. Good showing by Michael McDowell.
Absolutely. I hate to say that with luck, but it kind of was. With the top three wrecking out on exit of turn 4. But hey, that's just racing. Luck has a lot to do with it. And Michael McDowell in the catbird seat today.
I think you can say that was luck. I think it's pretty fair to say that Michael McDowell didn't really have a chance of running down Stenhouse. Stenhouse had the dominant car all day, but in the end, he just wasn't able to execute, and that's the most important thing in these races. We've seen so many drivers, come close to wins, and you can talk all you want about, oh, but they're so good, they came close to a win. But Michael McDowell was the one who won. So heartbreak for Stenhouse, but a great showing by Michael McDowell to win the NASCAR Alabama Grand Prix. Thank you all for tuning in. Is there anything that you want to go back and look at in the pre-race show?
I don't think so. I mean, if anything, you could take another look at what happened in the top 3. I mean, that's pretty much one of the only highlights. But hey, it was exciting.
I think we got to kind of relive the whole thing that happened with because it all started with the Eric Jones wreck, right? So I think we got to
that's right, it did.
Yeah, just kind of touch on that. Once again, this race sponsored by Will Nunn and NASCAR Kumon Cup Series. You can go ahead and subscribe to their channels of the same name. Also, make sure to subscribe to Charles B TV on YouTube. He was the person helping me out commentate this whole race. And of course, you can also subscribe to Target 24 Target Cup Series. He makes NASCAR stop motions just like I do, and you should really go ahead and give his channel a subscription. He joined in at a certain point of the broadcast to kind of help out with a bunch of stuff. All right, let's take a look at what happened to Eric Jones. Just kind of touch on what happened there, because it really turned the whole race on its head. I don't think there was any way that Ricky Stenhouse was going to lose that race if that hadn't happened.
Yeah, that caution really basically sealed his fate there.
So the wreck happened at around lap 24, I think. Yeah, so you can see McDowell was really far back. He did not have a chance of winning if the leaders hadn't wrecked.
First, and only just because of happenstance, really.
So here it was right here. Bubba Wallace involved.
Yeah, once again, I'm just going to say it looks like what happened. Eric Jones kind of slipped up out of the groove on exit of turn 10, and Bubba kind of went up under him. And Dibby was trying to go underneath them to kind of get a 2-for-1 deal, and then chaos kind of ensued, and DiBenedetto was an innocent victim in there.
I think DiBenedetto, maybe at the end, they're expressing some frustration for Bubba Wallace. He saw him kind of run into him.
Yeah, because he did keep his foot in it, from what it looks like.
I mean, you can see right here, he's going to the inside, he's avoiding everything, and Wallace he wouldn't lift. Bubba Wallace wasn't lifting off of Eric Jones and collected Matt DiBenedetto when Matt really didn't have anything to do. He wasn't in that wreck. You can take a look at his speed, actually. I do think Matt DiBenedetto, he did lift. You can see he's not picking up speed off the corner. He starts to pick it up when he thinks they're just going to go on the outside, but then he gets collected, so Matt DiBenedetto not happy there. And then
I wouldn't be either, to be honest. I mean, he was just going for a 2-for-1 pass, and it all ended there.
It sucks for Matt DiBenedetto, but that's racing pretty much. And when you have nothing on the line, I guess it hurts a little bit less because Matt's not going for a points championship or anything. This is just an exhibition series, but it still has to hurt to have a pretty good race car, solid race car, and then get taken out like that. All right, I did want to analyze the restart just to kind of get a little bit more insight into what happened and how the leaders got taken out, because that's basically the turning point of this whole race.
It really is, and Stenhouse, like I said when we were pacing under caution for the Bubba Wallace incident, he was probably slamming his steering wheel like, you gotta be kidding me right now.
I mean, definitely that sucks for Ricky Stenhouse because it really did cost him the whole race. All right.
Yeah, he led outright the most laps of the race. He was a he was the dominant force in the race, but sadly ended in just a
shower
sheer
of sparks.
Chaotic incident. Yeah.
So I think that this is the flagman right here, and if we watch.
Oh no, that's a pit sign.
Oh.
Stop.
Hey.
Go guy.
I knew that, obviously. No, I think that is the flagman. So watch. We can even go on board. Let's go on board with Austin Dillon. Nope, that's actually not gonna help us. So watch that little yellow square there. I don't know if you can actually see my cursor, but watch that little yellow square in about the middle of your screen. When it turns green, that's when Stenhouse should have gone. He went.
Yeah, he was late on the start.
I mean, I think he got it. Maybe he wasn't aggressive enough. So,
I think what he was trying to do was kind of pull off an IndyCar move, kind of bunch up the field behind him, and then get going, so he kind of gets a gap.
I think this is going to give us the biggest insight into what happened. You can see the minute Stenhouse is going, he's up to about 65. Dillon's up to 66. And then, we keep going. And when when Stenhouse is at 70, Dillon's at 71, and the speed difference was just enough for Dillon to be able to get up the inside of Ricky Stenhouse there.
Yeah. You see they'll go into turn 1 and turn 2. And you see Stenhouse goes out of the groove a little bit on exit of that corner. And I believe that sets up the chain of events that happens. You see their lines are different.
I think it might be the same thing with the speed difference. If we look right here, Stenhouse is going 101. Dillon's going 100, so I think Stenhouse might have, you're right, just the line difference made Stenhouse a little bit slower. Dillon wasn't expecting it, and at the same time, Dillon's going for the race lead, but he didn't quite have the time. Oh no, he definitely did have the time to pull out, so... Dillon, what were you doing, man?
There you see Stenhouse and Austin Dillon, they made just the slightest of contact. But in this game, sometimes contact, because there you can already tell they're hooked.
I'm going to say that was the Chevrolet front nose. Because the way that the nose works, you can see how if the nose was flatter like Cole Custer's car, then it would have actually lined up and it probably would have just been a bump. But because because the Chevrolet nose is almost like a spear, it kind of hooked... It hooked Stenhouse on that nose of the car. Stenhouse went into the inside wall sideways, Cole Custer involved, and because it's been asked for, we should also go on board with Ricky Stenhouse.
Oh, this should be an interesting on board, because he went in the air almost upside down.
Especially because he didn't even see anything happen. One moment he's just driving off the corner, next moment he is upside down.
I mean, let's take a look on board. Coming out of turn 3 here. And then, bam!
It is a heavy hit for Ricky Stenhouse. Especially that
Absolutely.
Especially that hit back into the ground like that. I think, we saw that with Eric Almirola at Kansas in 2017, which got him injured. You can see Stenhouse, his car just pops up into the air and bang, right back on the ground. It kills his momentum.
Brutal hit for Stenhouse. And Cole Custer, he kind of went at a weird angle into the tire barriers where it was still kind of head on, but more or less on the driver's side.
Yeah, Cole Custer also with a heavy hit there. Yeah, that just really, it wasn't so much like that he went into the wall like that. I think it was just the sudden like stop in his momentum, going at around 80 miles an hour to
look at that. It just came to a stop.
The other thing I wanted to look at was Chase Elliott on the restart. Bubba Wallace with damages. Oh, no, that was from the wreck prior. So Chase Elliott also had damage on the restart, and it looks like he might have just gotten loose and driven straight off the track, because he's right behind Michael McDowell, who ended up winning the race.
And think about that. If Elliott had made that work, we would be talking about Chase Elliott being the winner.
He definitely could have been the winner, but you can see he just gets hooked on the grass and up into the gravel he goes.
But looks like he was trying to do was make an outside move work through turn 2 and 3, and that just moves like that just do not work here, especially with how the AI are on this track.
I think it could have worked, but he's gonna get caught on the grass. There's just no room, Chase.
Yeah, and once you clip that grass, it's game over.
He's just going straight off the track, and little did Chase Elliott know, but had he not done that, he would have won the race. So
Yeah, tragic
Yeah,
loss
that
there.
sucks for Chase Elliott. He was because we know that Chase Elliott is faster than Michael McDowell, but because he got involved in that wreck, Chase Elliott does not win this race. So,
And I did want to mention JTG Daugherty. They have nothing to be sad about this race. They dominated the race with Stenhouse, and then Ryan Prix coming home second. That's a pretty good showing.
a great race by JTG Daugherty. I think that's the correct way to pronounce it. Dominant
It is.
performance by Stenhouse and a great performance by Ryan Prix. One more thing before we end out the stream is Jimmie Johnson. Basically, he came really close to ruining Stenhouse's race. I want to take a look at why he was so far off the pace. I don't know if he got involved in a wreck or if he just was slow.
I believe it was an incident with Ty Dillon and Brad Keselowski on the initial start of the race.
Oh yeah, I think we did look back at this.
Yeah, let's take another look at what happened here. Because I believe Jimmie Johnson was just kind of an innocent bystander in that incident.
Because
We
Brad,
see Ty Dillon slow getting going. Keselowski looks to the inside. They touch. And Johnson hard into the inside wall, and that ends his race.
I mean,
Pretty much.
yeah, just, Jimmie Johnson picked up that damage early on. I don't think they were able to ever get it, fully fixed, and that's why Jimmie Johnson went straight to the back and ended up holding up quite a few guys, including...
What Jimmie Johnson today reminded me of was Jimmie Johnson at Homestead in the Invitational, how Randy LaJoy the field, or Kevin LePage the field, essentially.
Definitely, Jimmie Johnson, he did not make a lot of friends. It was right around here, I think, where he held up the leaders. I'm shocked that Stenhouse wasn't able to get around Johnson sooner, considering we know how aggressive Ricky Stenhouse is, yet he still just was stuck behind him for so long.
Yeah, he really was.
We can watch this from Cole Custer's perspective, or at least from his chase cam, and you can see Johnson is just holding up Stenhouse, and he's closing right up to the bumper, especially right through here where the outside lane has been dominant all day through this corner. Stenhouse is just stuck on the inside with nowhere to go.
Yeah, he couldn't even make a move going into the turn 7 chicane, and that would ultimately result in Cole Custer trying to take the lead away.
And then I think Custer actually got held up by Johnson again, which is what gave the lead back to Stenhouse. Oh no, Custer was never able to get the lead, that's right. Okay, so Custer never got the lead.
What happened was Custer, like you saw there in the chicane, turn 7 A and B, he lost momentum on exit coming out of turn 8 past the museum.
I mean, he had another shot at it here. Custer didn't take... I think he tried to take advantage of the opportunity, but as you said, he's not really the best road course racer, and I just don't think he really knew how. You can see right here, he probably should have tried to get to the inside of Johnson. He didn't. He stayed on the outside, and it was too late. Because had he gone to the inside, he probably could have taken the lead from Stenhouse, but he was just too late getting to the inside.
Yeah, and there you see Cole Custer kind of messes around with Jimmie Johnson.
I mean, I just think Custer...
compared to Stenhouse.
Custer just didn't have the car to, I think, get around Johnson, didn't have the car to drive up to Stenhouse because of how dominant Ricky was. And then Clint Boyer also got involved in something because he was up towards the front and then he just went straight to the back.
Yeah.
Take a look here. We'll fast forward through just so I can try and figure out what happened. Maybe he went wide at the chicane or something.
I do remember, Newman and Boyer, they did have an outing into the gravel trap in turns 2 and 3, if I recall.
I know Newman did. Was it also Boyer in that one? I don't really remember.
I believe it was.
Yeah, that was it, right. So Boyer, the reason that he went so far to the back is because he just got nailed by Ryan Newman through that corner.
Well, it looks like happened, Boyer first hit the gravel trap, and then Newman hit it after him. Then Newman really had nowhere to go.
I think
because you see there, Boyer's already sliding. Newman slides wider and just hits Boyer. And they really have no control in that case because it is a gravel trap.
Really, it would have been, I think, fine if Clint Boyer or if Ryan Newman hadn't slid out into Boyer, but because he did. Wow, this is a great camera angle. There we go. Nope, that's still a bad camera angle. Okay, well, I tried to get an interesting camera angle of the wreck. Alright, so that will pretty much do it for the first ever NASCAR Grand Prix Exhibition Challenge race. I'm not really sure where the next track is going to be, but that race will probably be either next weekend or in 2 weeks. I still need to figure out the scheduling for everything. But I'm thinking in terms of next tracks, Sebring, Road Atlanta, maybe Spa. I'll test out a couple of them and see which mod provides the most exciting racing. But until next time, this has been Jonathan and Charles Bowen, and for a while it was Connor. Thank you all for watching. Charles, got anything to say to the audience?
Not much other than thank you guys so much. Pleasure being on this live stream with Jonathan here, and check out his stop motions. They're really good.
Yeah, thanks. All right, well, I'll see you all next time. Just to give you guys an update on stop motions, Daytona will be coming out this weekend. In terms of this series, it'll either, I'm guessing Road Atlanta or Sebring, maybe Spa, either next weekend or the weekend after that. So thank you all for watching Race 1. But until next time, this has been Jonathan and Charles. We are signing out. We'll see you all later.